Yes, yes. Don't forget to check out Doggie Diamond's No Filter, the actual audio version of this podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I got to change it on the screen, Apple Podcast. I don't know why I got Spotify. But also for $100, I promote whatever you need on my social medias and my website. That's my Twitter, Facebook, Insta Stories, YouTube community, and my website, which will be featured on www.doggiediamondstv.com. Hit me up on Instagram, and for your promo, serious inquiries only. Must be Cash App ready. Also, the perks is back. The membership perks. So become a member of the channel now. You know, you get a little different stuff, behind the scenes stuff, pictures, early releases that everybody can't get. So right in the description box below is the perks. Become a member of the channel, the podcast. Everything is in the description box. Utilize the description box. It's right there for you. Let's go. So, oh man, it's been a long time coming. You ain't never seen nothing like this. Today, you're going to understand. You already know I'm the king of the interviews. You know what I'm saying? This is the easy part, but we gonna get into it today. I like to have guests that's no filter, no holds barred. That speak their mind, speak their truth. I love that. We gonna get into some liars too. We're going to speak some truth today. So let's stop the music. Stop the music. Stop the music. What's up, everybody? I go by the name of Doggie Diamonds. You know what I do. You know what you're here for. When you see the title, you see the name, you on the channel, you subscribe, you know what's going on. But today I got a special guest. And he goes by the name of, introduce yourself to the people.
What up, what up, what up? What's good, Josh? Your boy ARP representing that Rare Breed Entertainment. As always, big salute and shout out to Doggie Diamonds. Like you said, it's a long time in the making, man.
Yeah.
Yo, can I just take a moment real quick?
Go ahead.
For a second?
This is your show. Go ahead.
I know you got all types of stuff in store. I don't know what's about to happen in this interview, but I got to give you your flowers, my guy.
Got you.
As I was sitting here, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes, waiting to join the joint with you and everything, and I'm hearing you go through your intro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, damn, I got to step my game up.
It's the easy part.
All I got is like a one-line intro. You know what I'm saying? You have your marketing, and it's a reminder, man, how long you've been putting in this pain and how long you've been a part of media and a part of this culture and bringing so much to the table. You are really an OG in this game, man. And even though it's been years since we had a chance to rock out, it's an honor to be back.
So I do want to get in at one particular point. I had with you that you wasn't aware of a misunderstanding, right? And I want to, so let's let the people know how, not what it was about, because it wasn't really about anything, but how we were able to end it, because I think that's important, because people see beef, but they never see how it's ended. How is it ended between me and you? Because it didn't go far. It wasn't like, when I see him, but how is it ended?
I think it started with a text message.
Yes.
Of yo, what's up? Followed by that was a quick phone call.
Mm-hmm.
That quick phone call, it took us about, less than 60 seconds to realize that neither one of us had an issue,
mm-hmm.
or even was on the right track with why we thought we had maybe tension or some type of distance of why we haven't rocked in so many years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, you thought this? Well, nah, I was thinking this. So it's like, wait, you was thinking this and I was thinking that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like a 60-second conversation sometimes. And I think we show our maturity because we didn't have any issue, you know what I'm saying? But we just wasn't in communications. We wasn't rocking out. We both thought that there was something there and there wasn't.
Reason why I started with that, because in this culture that we're in, whether it's hip hop culture and especially battle rap culture, many things could be ended with that text and a 60-second phone call. Why do you think it's not?
You got a lot of machismo. You got the pride. You got the ego. Our culture within itself is such a. When I say our culture, I don't just mean battle rap or anything like. I mean the hip hop culture, because hip hop is not just rapping, it's a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So our culture that is a lifeline within our communities, it breeds us to be these type of egotistical, prideful, more machismo in front of like, raw, hard-earned principles than anything. And it's just like, we really just allow that to dictate our actions way, way, way too much. And it's just like, instead of all the drama and all the beefing, I've tried to have so many conversations over the years with people that I've had odds with, even as of recent. I have a card, for example, and I love the fact at the time, and if you asking me this question, because I have a card coming up in November, and the card is either going to be the Get Back Part 2 or Closure Part 2. And for those that know RBE, both of those are themes of people either coming back or people squashing their drama. And that theme of a card that we do is going to fit the people that's already booked one way or another, because we're bringing back people even that we've had issues with. You know what I'm saying? And even the issues that's going to be popping up, you know, later on our card this year, quick phone call, quick text message, similar to you and I. Damn, I thought we had this and it ain't that. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a lot of things that could be solved with a text message or a phone conversation, but we get in our own way.
Reason why I'm asking you this, because I think a lot could be ended via text, via a phone call, via just a quick, you know, because we once was cool. Why are we uncool? Right? And then when you realize you speak, you're like, oh, that shit was dumb. Like, what are we doing? We both looking like clowns right now at the end of it all. Reason why I'm saying that, because to the general public, and this might be perception of the general public, that RBE, which is and mainly you, ARP has a problem with URL, but URL doesn't bother you. We don't know why you're always picking on URL. You keep their name in your mouth. You're always doing blogs. What goes on behind the scenes that the people don't know? Because you let a little bit out in your series that people don't know. But what is some of the things that's taking place behind the scenes, if you could give us a little bit, that the general public don't know?
And shout out to the general public. I feel like there's a lot of people that's in the know. There's more and more people that are waking up slowly but surely. You got new fans that don't know some of the history and some of the early stuff that was happening between and all the leagues, including RBE, URL, and some of these other leagues, King of the Dot, Guerrilla Warfare, UW, et cetera, et cetera. Because I'm in this game 11 plus years. I'm in this game as a platform owner 9 years. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of history there. So I know we got a lot of new fans, but for people that hear me speak and then maybe you don't hear other people speak as well.
That's what it is. You're the most vocal. That's all it really is.
I've accepted that perception years ago. And obviously I've never let that misconception slow me down or stop me from what I actually needed to do. When you're the smaller entity, when you're the smaller company, when you're the smaller guy in the sea or in the arena, so to speak, I mean, it's very, very easy to step on that person or step on that company and just act like nothing happened. I give an example of somebody I think is a master of that. I think Jay-Z mastered that. I think he mastered that. There's been times where we felt like, uh-oh, he's about to go back and forth with Joe Budden, and Jay-Z played like this. Uh-oh, he's about to go back and forth with Jadakiss because they keep remixing the same songs and whatnot. Or the game is in all these interviews saying his name or whatever. Or see, there'd be things where it be there and somebody was wronged or something happened or something put you at odds. There's a lot of times where the bigger company or the bigger person or the person that thinks they're too big for it, they're gonna play like this. And then if you really want to be realistic, if you want to be specific about these two companies that you're asking about, what are you going to say? Yeah, we have been sabotaging this company for 9 years. Like, what are you going to say? You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I feel like, you know, when I stand in my truth all these years, when I keep all my records and my evidence and my documents over the course of all these years, and then I start to speak out more and more because the little guy needs to make sure that the culture understands and is aware of what's going on, as well as the people that I'm in business with and the people that I'm working with daily, weekly, monthly. I need these people to be aware of the type of stuff that's happening. I think it's very, very easy to try to paint the perception of, oh, no, it's just him because he's vocal. But to me, if you believe that, then you have to be like a minute thinker. You have to be a minute
so
thinker.
Has there ever... I
don't think I've come across as somebody that just wakes up one morning and says, you know what, I feel like talking about these people. I don't think
you come off like that, but I think, again, when you're vocal, as I am, when you're vocal, as I've been vocal against Vlad over the years, and he's been quiet, but behind the scenes, he's done shit that was like, yo, if y'all knew this, but when we air out the dirty laundry of the behind the scenes, people be like, oh, you clout chasing. They don't understand how it might...
But that's the win, and that's the double standard that ends up hurting people like me and you. For example, when you have people in our shoes that feel like, damn, people's called me a clout chaser, fuck it, I can't win, let me just shut up. Those people that played that quiet role, they win. Yeah. They win. you have to be thick-skinned enough to say, like, you want to know what? There's a bunch of people that's going to be uneducated. There's also going to be a bunch of people that's just ignorant. There's also going to be groupies. There's also going to be people that automatically just pick sides because that's where they want to stand, that may not even care about the truth. Then you got the people that'll know the truth, and for their own personal benefit, they're going to ignore it. Right? It's like, well, I'm still eating over there, or I could still get money over there possibly. I don't want to ruffle those feathers, so I'm going to ignore it or play neutral. And that's fine too for those people. Then you got people that just flat out are too stupid to accept truth even when you put it in front of them.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So when you're the vocal person, you're going to have a crop of people that's going to say you're clout chasing, especially since that term is so popular now. Like somebody speaking out on somebody that has a big reputation as well. So you're clout chasing them. Like as if my life, you know what I'm saying? Like there's anything that I would ever trade them niggas with. So let me
ask you something. I seen something in, what's the name of the series that you're doing right now? Sorry Not Sorry, right?
No. So the podcast, it's funny. So let me clarify that on your platform. Okay. So the name of my new podcast is Sorry It's True. Okay. It's a general podcast.
Got you.
Right. Where I want to talk about any and everything under the sun. I don't want to restrict myself. It's not just battle rap. I want to be able to talk about any and everything. I feel like it's something that I've restricted myself from doing over the years and never made or forced myself to create time for to do. It's something I've always wanted to do. And the very first video that I dropped, it's actually still on the channel. There was some recent interviews from some people that I've been going back and forth with in this battle rap stuff for years, right? And they did some things that were very misleading. They said some things that, in my opinion, were lies. And it kind of was a breaking point for me as far as speaking out of things that was very, very private, right? It was kind of a breaking point for me. But in the video that's on my channel, you see me, I'm saying, hey guys, look at all this podcast equipment I just bought. You know, I'm about to get this going, but I've never been in this space before, and setting it up is taking me weeks to do because I'm trying to figure out how to multi-camera and all this boom, 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 boom. But I will be responding to some recent interviews that just dropped. Give me a second. It's going to take me a while to edit them up. Right. So me showing all the equipment and everything was saying my podcast is coming, but I still have already told the fans that I owe y'all a blog responding to that other stuff that's buzzing right now. So instead of coming out and getting to what I wanted to get to, I felt I kind of time crunched myself. You know what I'm saying? Of telling the fans, like, I'm going to respond to that. Just give me a second. So then when I actually got all my equipment synced and ready to go, I came out talking about that first.
Got you.
So that series itself, I just labeled it Follow the Imitators, because the first release that I did was a whole video showing all the things that have been stolen or copied from other platforms.
Got you. So when you hear you can't copy respect, what comes to your mind?
I'm curious how good your memory is. Do you remember that you asked me that question about 6 years ago on your platform?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. And you know what? I'm gonna say it again right here. And me answering that in my truth and in my honest feedback is the same way that somebody would like chop this up, the same answer, and put it in a trailer. I've always thought it was smart marketing, right? Because you're marketing to a demographic of people that are easily manipulated. And only thing that they're going to take from that is the word copy.
Yes.
Right. So what you're trying to insinuate is anybody else that does anything similar or is in the same, that's like me saying, you do a podcast, but I knew a podcast that happened before you. So Doggie Diamonds, that makes you a copier. Right. Like there's nothing new under the sun. Like there was leagues before even the leagues that are the most prominent in today's game. Like it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But people like that marketing of it. And when you emphasize it the way that you do of trying to really put a black cloud on anybody else that's in that space, you emphasize the word copy. But I've always said the reason why I've also, not only do I think it's smart marketing, but I also think it's a stupid statement is because I agree with it. I actually agree that you cannot copy respect. I would never want to copy somebody else's respect. I gave that analogy of like LeBron James and his son. You know what I'm saying? If LeBron's son, Lil Bronny, comes into the league and everybody only looks at him or respects him because of his father, he doesn't have his own legacy.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So if you respect RBE as one of the biggest and the best battle rap platforms in battle rap history, which we are. That's a fact. We've already carved out that piece of legacy for ourselves. Then we've earned our own respect. Obviously, if you can't copy it, then we didn't copy it because people respect RBE.
Mm. So one of
logic. Logic.
So one of the knocks on you, and I want you to respond to this, is that you don't develop your own talent. Your talent is from other platforms' talent, and you just book cards that other people couldn't build. What do you want to say to that?
Well, first of all, we're not a league.
Okay.
We've been playing for 9 years. We're a platform.
Okay.
One of the best jobs that we have done in this space is giving the people what they want or what they didn't even ask for and expect, and still creating classics.
Okay.
So that's answer number one. Okay. Answer number two, you always have to ask yourself, so where does that line actually get drawn to begin, right? Because if we got to talk about the Averbs or the Hollows or the Mooks or the Arsenals or all these people that came from, whether it's Grind Time or Lions Den, or I first saw them on RBE, or I first saw them on King of the Dot, or I first saw them on Fight Club, or you know what I'm saying? Like all these different places where we've met these battlers. I think so many times people misconstrue developing talent where you got your most popular. Okay. We have somebody right now that's contracted with us by the name of Coach Coleon. Okay. He's now becoming an up-and-coming RBE battler and artist. A lot of people have no clue who he is, never met him before. He just got picked up to join Hitman Holler's TV show. You know what I'm saying? He's getting some good matchups from us now. He's been battle rapping for 10 years. For 10 years. When he got to my platform, he already knew how to battle rap. He didn't hone his craft on RBE. We basically took our engine, our platform, our promotion, our matchmaking style, our finances, our reputation, and everything that we bring to the table, and we matched alongside with his talent, and now he has a bigger light on him. And I do respect that. I do respect that. But what I'm trying to say is, in that respect, we got to create the deviation. We got to create the separation. We have to understand the marketing, once again, versus the actual true logic. So if we have these battlers, especially all the ones that's floating around and being private contractors, which pretty much 80% of the culture already is, then that's exactly the way we must treat it. That's exactly the way we must treat it. Let alone, I know that the league gets the credit for every time a card comes out, but I'm the guy that's going to be honest with you and say 40% of the matchups that be happening behind the scenes is because the battlers bring them to the league. Yeah. Your biggest battlers, whether it was Murder Mook, the last time I was in touch with Loaded Lux's side, I'll use him as an example because I want to use a big battle. The last time I was in contact with his side, him and his sister Tiff, they reached out to me and they asked, yo, what's up with Hitman? What's up with Cassidy? Those are battles that we're interested in. I didn't reach out to them first. But you know the general public doesn't know this. They think that you're on the phone calling everybody, which you probably are when you want to put together some stuff. But the general public has to know these battlers call you too. I just gave you a big example using a big artist for recent. I can go to our very first card. Our very, very first card, two of the biggest names on that card was Goods and Averb, right? We booked Averb because, and I have this footage on my channel. We booked Averb because Averb put out a blog saying, I'm looking for any league to pick me up going against an up-and-comer. And we saw that blog and we reached out to them and said, yo, we got a card coming up. It's going to be New Year order. We got a couple shifting of the tiers and the matches. We're down to do that. There's this guy named Adi Boom that I'm building with. You want to battle him? He says, send me the money. Another person on that same card was Goods. Goods reached out to me and said, yo, I'm in this Facebook group right now. Me and this guy named Danger Zone is going back and forth. We developed a little bit of buzz. Do you want to put that on his card? And I was just like, all right, cool. I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? And some of the battlers already knew me and started to hear like, yo, he's starting a league or whatever the case may be. But those are two of the biggest, actually not of the biggest names on my very first card. Actually put it out there to come to RBE, opposed to me just randomly saying, yo, I see that you're doing this over there. Come do it over here. And of course I was a fan. Of course I seen their work already. But this is the case with all leagues. Like we could reverse it so many times where you see battlers get hot and go somewhere else. Like after, like, rest in peace, Pat Stay. Everybody knows
Yes, rest in peace to Pat Stay.
Rest in peace, Pat Stay. Everybody knows that Pat Stay was most predominantly a King of the Dot battle. Yes. That doesn't make me a bad guy because he and I worked together for him to come to RBE. And then after we work with him at RBE, he gets a call to go to URL. I'm not going to be the guy to turn around and say, URL, you're copying off of RBE and King of the Dot by booking somebody that was on a different stage before yours. That's corny. You never know if that man wanted to be on RBE or wanted to be on URL. I'm giving you examples of how that really happens behind the scenes with like Goods and Averb or Loaded Lux, for example, right? So I think out of marketing and out of competition and out of creating narratives and perceptions to kind of thwart or push out or push over the other platforms, people generate storylines like that. It only comes from one place, that storyline.
So I want to ask you two things.
Ignorant people will pick up on it. That's just how it goes.
So with Goods, I've seen him in a recent interview. He said you're back and forth because it's really not it doesn't seem like a back and forth over the quiet thing that you broke down earlier. Goods said that the back and forth between yourself and URL is stupid.
It is.
But I want you to know, Adam, it doesn't seem like a back and forth because they're not going back to the public, right? So it just seems like you always got their name in their mouth. But the quiet thing, you just broke down that. So how is it a back and forth, and why would he say it's stupid if you're speaking your truth about things that was done to your company?
So when I say I agree with him in that it's stupid, I'm talking about that all the way back to the general principle of multiple leagues within the battle rap culture. That's why to me it's stupid. I feel like there's enough money for everybody. There's enough viewership for everybody. There's enough battlers or opponents or matchup ideas or card theme ideas for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I just watched possibly the battle of the year with A-Ward versus A-Ward versus Rum Nitty on the Riot. Now, if I go pull A-Ward a month later on my card, the fans still win. The fans still get to see what they want to see, which is dope battles within whatever type of setup and idea that the platform has. So for that respect of I got to be the only league that's here, I got to be the one-stop shop. That's why I think it's stupid. I think it's greedy. I think it's stupid, and I think it's arrogant. Now, as far as the part of why the back and forth happen, or is the actual activities between these two companies, is that stupid? Some of it is, some of it ain't. You know what I'm saying? And you could say like, all right, RBE, they're the vocal ones, they're the smaller guys, so they got to make sure that they let the community know what's going on. So
are you really the small? But I want to get that though. Are you really the smaller guy?
Yeah, no, we are.
In what terms though? But how are you the smaller guy? See, this is what I don't. Perception is everything. So 95% of people's perception is their reality, but that's still only your perception. How are you the smaller guy if you have the subscription base, you got gigantic battles you put together? How are you small? You're not.
It's funny you said that, because to double back to your last question for a hot second, everybody knows that we're also in litigation, URL and RBE. Ironically, that was submitted when we were having our biggest event back to back. So we did Max Out Part 1, one of the biggest main events in battle rap history, with Hitman versus Cassidy.
The face-off alone is the face-off is but see, this is what I'm saying. How are you the smaller guy? Have you done?
No, go ahead. Even though I disagreed at that premise, or what I was basically saying, like, you know, like, yeah, they are the bigger company, but now I'm agreeing with your actual perspective logic, right? Because what I'm trying to say is the fans and the industry will move to the moment. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, ironically, we were the biggest at that moment.
Yeah. That year.
Yeah, we were.
That year.
And every that can happen. And that's another reason why I think sometimes they shoot themselves in their foot, because I think they do too much trying to maintain the perception of being the biggest and the best. But sometimes there's another platform that could come out and they just do hard and good work, good, honest, straightforward work. And for that moment, they have their carved out niche. But they can't. But sometimes people can't handle that. Sometimes people can't. When right now you got Summer Madness coming up. I don't care to promote it. I don't have an ego like that. You know what I'm saying? You got Summer Madness 12 coming up, right? I think it's this month.
Let me ask you something about Summer Madness really quick. What is Summer Madness dubbed?
Oh, Summer Savings, you mean?
The Super Bowl of battle rap.
Oh, okay, okay,
You know
okay.
where that comes from?
Promotion probably.
No, you
Marketing.
know who made up that? You know who made up the
Oh,
Super?
you?
Absolutely.
Okay, okay, okay.
Absolutely. I could go to the footage when I had Beasley in front of me and I said, it's the Super Bowl of battle rap.
That's dope.
Absolutely.
Once
Absolutely.
again, nothing new under the sun.
Absolutely made that up.
You can't act like. Well, anyway.
And when
But,
they ran, listen, and when he ran with it, I agreed. It's the Super Bowl of battle rap. You understand what I'm saying?
And they put in the work and
Yeah.
earn that. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be mad at that. But then you have, for example, Max Outcome, right? And I can't do an interview. I can't get on my Twitter. I can't do a blog without seeing a comment. Where's Max Out? Max Out? Max Out? Right? It's they've created such a stamp for it in the culture. We do that, and then we take that momentum. We go right into Max Out 2. Like, imagine saying that the Super Bowl happened back to back. Right? That's what we did. And it's not ironic to me at all that all of a sudden now it's just like, okay, we've tried this towards these people. We tried this towards these people. We tried this. We tried this long list over 9 years of doing things to sabotage or slow them or whatever. We're going to now use this. You know what I'm saying? That's not coincidence to me.
What is the litigation about? If you can tell me without getting too much into what is the litigation about?
What I'll speak on is already to me 100% public already.
Okay.
Which is it's over daylight.
Okay.
So it's over daylight. So when we booked Daylight versus King Los, you know, supposedly people are claiming that there's an issue with that. And we're talking about working with somebody that we've worked with since our third card, since I think 2014. Actually, before we worked with this particular person before these. But anyway, that's really the premise of it. Whatever else happens during this litigation is going to also be a part of it.
So how does it work? You get an email, you get served paper, somebody come to your house and say, hey, you just got served. How does that work?
In legal, well, being subpoenaed or in legal litigations or whatever, I think that stuff happens in all forms. I think people can have somebody serve you on. Look at the Math and Hollow battle that we did. You know, Math technically tried to serve Hollow on stage when he was trying to hand them paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a form of a servant. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to try to evict somebody from your house, you know, I've been doing I did the landlord thing for forever. You try to evict somebody from your house, you know, that marshal has to go back and forth multiple times until they open the door and receive and sign, boom, 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 boom. It happens in so many different forms. Within this case, for us, we got to December, and then I think DNA 2 did a blog, right, saying that, you know, this was happening, and we was like, what? And we went and pulled some things up and looked around. He was like, what the? And then we found out at that point, and then, you know, you call your lawyers and you lawyer up, and it's like, all right, let's start going through this litigation process.
So you never got served? How did you?
I was, myself or anybody affiliated with RBE was never served.
So why do you have to answer it?
If you don't answer it, I'm not saying that there's a million cases that go without answer, right? Now, number one, we want to answer. We want to do the right thing. Number two, we know all the evidence and the actual truth behind these situations, so we actually want to answer it, right? And number three, I really do believe that there's a bunch of situations where people go unanswered, and then there could just be a default judgment.
Default judgment, because you.
Yeah.
But how could you answer something that you didn't know you were in litigation with? You understand what I'm saying? Most litigations.
And for all I know, I'm glad that's not where we're at. Right. But for all I know, that could have happened if we didn't find out when we found out.
Wow.
Like, you never know. You never know. Even though default judgments within themselves can take 6 months, a year, who knows? Like, they could take a long time as well, too, because the way I've been kind of hipped from my legal team is that when it comes to default judgments, the court system, they don't want to do default judgments. They want people to go through the process, of course, for financial reasons. But even outside of financial reasons, just from a process standpoint, period, I don't just want Doggie Diamonds walking in to a building and saying, yo, ARP did this to me. And I say, all right, Doggie, you're right. Boom, here you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always multiple sides to a story. I'm pretty sure the legal system has learned that over the years. You know what I'm saying? So they really don't want to do default judgments. I think that's why within itself, that's a process that can be kind of, you know, elongated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and once again, like I mentioned before, you got the financial situation of it. Everybody knows once you have a back and forth, then, you know, the lawyers get paid, the courts get paid, the trials and the all that type of stuff. Everybody starts it's a whole process, and there's money involved.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think default judgments, period, are things that the legal system really goes towards. But that's not even relevant.
But let me ask you
not what
something.
the state can do.
I want to ask you something. It's a two-part question. Has there been times, because I've seen your evidence, your proof, has there been times where you have booked an event, booked said battle rapper, and said battle rapper has been contacted by URL and say, don't battle, I'll pay you this if you don't battle there? Absolutely. And has there been times where you set a date and mysteriously they got the same date as you?
Absolutely, 100%. And I say it to be politically correct sometimes. I say the word allegedly, but there's evidence. There's a lot of evidence behind that, not just for RBE, for many leagues, that has been. Think about. Let me ask you this:
Mm-hmm.
the term blocked battles, right?
I think of Cortez first. I think of
Cortez
first, though. Volted, yeah.
That's battle rap. That's battle rap terminology, and it only comes from one place.
Mm-hmm.
You've never cut on a camera or listen to a blog or interview and heard Miss Gracie blocked my battle, Organic blocked my battle, Arsenal and El Wisdom over there, Ray Swag, they blocked my battle, ARP blocked my battle. You don't hear that.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually people are kind of desensitized to the word block battle now. Like, I'll have a card coming up. Or I just saw that recently with Rum Nitty versus A-Ward on the riot, and there's people that's tweeting and commenting like, yo, we hope this battle don't get blocked and actually goes down. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's a coined, real desensitized term at this point in battle rap, and it only comes from one place. So with RBE, somehow falling into this position of number one competitor, of course, if those are your business practices, they're going to happen many, many times over the year in my direction. And we have evidence of that type of stuff.
So with the evidence, why have you never sued or countersued in this situation? Because to me, that would be like torturous interference.
Yeah, absolutely. So why we've never sued is to me, one of our worst decisions over the years.
Mm-hmm.
One of our worst decisions, because I feel like when you're quiet, which is why people actually hate, trust me, I can tell how much they hate me speaking.
Mm-hmm.
When you're quiet, or when you don't take action, or when you don't stand up for something, you actually perpetuate the BS to continue.
Mm-hmm.
You perpetuate it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to soon. It's like the bully in the school. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna take everybody's milk. He's gonna take everybody's food off their lunch table until somebody stands up and does something about it. The bully sooner or later has to learn, like, yo, this ain't cool. People's not really going for this. And I feel like that's never really happened in battle rap. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, you can't just let the battlers off the hook. You know what I'm saying? You can't let some of the bad business practices go, you know, off the hook. You know what I mean? Like some of these agreements and contracts that are signed and sealed and are of a certain level of legality get swept under the rug. You know what I'm saying? We have a very, very unprofessional industry, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you got to place the blame across multiple parties. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
that is one thing that I do regret. I do regret not taking a stance sooner. I do regret not speaking out more sooner, because I definitely admit that when you don't speak out more, or when you don't take a more serious position, or when you don't go ahead and call a lawyer, because none of this shit is street shit. You know what I'm saying? It's all business or whatever. So when you don't go call your lawyers or whatever, then you perpetuate it.
So
and
did you?
Over the years,
but do you feel?
I think over the years, people in those positions, I think they start to get a little big-headed about it. Like, oh, we're just gonna stop that, or we're just gonna do this, or we're just gonna cancel that, or we're just gonna offer this bread over there and stop that.
But street shit. But listen, street shit. When we think about street shit, did you trip out when you say, "Oh, y'all suing me? I could have been sued y'all if y'all want to play the suing game"? Did you? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, y'all got the nerve to sue me after all this shit.
I laugh because I try to be lighthearted about it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a cool attitude. Like, you can't stress out over, because in my shoes, you know, they would have, or people would have stressed me out 9 years ago, because it started from day one. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason I'm laughing, y'all. Not because this is a real laughing matter, but you got to keep a light tempo about it. That's the best you could do, so you don't get stressed out over the BS, because it's rampant. But I said in the interview, and I'll repeat it several times. It's one of the most cowardly things I've ever seen in my lifetime. And I'm not saying that to exaggerate. I'm not saying that with any like, oh, you would say that. Like, in my lifetime, I've seen a lot of coward things. You know what I'm saying? This is amongst the most cowardly things I've ever seen. Because when you have such a reputation of doing that to all these different companies and all these different people, and then this company starts to, you know, break through these ceilings and break through some of these boundaries, and they have these back-to-back max outs and whatnot, and all of a sudden you actually have a claim towards these people for what you've done to the entire industry since it started. That's cowardly shit to me. That would be even triple if I did something malicious. Now, there's no evidence, there's no proof of anything malicious that RBE has done other than conduct business the way that we always do with the artist directly, right? Including Daylight. And there's a lot of evidence behind that. So there's nothing out of the norms that we've done with Daylight that we haven't been doing since 2014, right? But even if I was on a malicious type of time, so to speak, even though RBE has never been that way, it still would be cowardly to me. Because if anything, then that would just be like, oh, you got slapped back after punching on these people for 9 years. But that's not even the case, though, because we don't block battles, and we've never purposefully, maliciously made an attempt towards anybody's event, anybody's battles, nothing like that. There's never going to be proof of that, because we've never executed that. There's never going to be proof of that anywhere. Not in anybody's phone call, not in anybody's text message, not in anybody's tweets, not in anybody's contract.
What's your biggest blocked battle that you were putting together, negotiating for months, paperwork, money sent, and it's not happening?
Our biggest block battle, paperwork, money sent, and everything. Damn, that's subjective, because the thing about battle rap is like the timing, the card that it's on, because you got to remember this.
Let's go off the names. Let's just go off the names that people would have wanted to see at that particular time, and it just didn't happen.
Sure. Pat Stay, rest in peace, versus Shotgun Suge.
Ooh.
Geechee Gotti versus Math Hoffa.
Hold up, you had that first?
Yeah. Of course. Iron Solomon.
Hold on. Time out. We can't gloss past that. You had Geechee Gotti versus Math Hoffa, money sent and everything already.
Yes, sir.
And what stopped it?
I'm not going to get on any of these cameras and lie.
I'm just saying, what stopped it?
Not only did that never been me, but we're in litigation. Like, I'm not going to get on here and say anything that I don't already have evidence and proof behind.
Got you. So what stopped the battle? How was it blocked? Was somebody contacted and say, don't do that battle, or don't? What is the stopping?
That I can't get into, because you never know if that is a part of
the litigation.
Yes.
But it was stopped.
It is publicly known about, you know, battles such as Old Red versus Iron Solomon, Geechee Gotti versus Math Hoffa, Pat Stay versus Shotgun Suge. We've had some recently that I won't even discuss. It's really 9 years worth.
Do you get a refund? Do they send you your money back? What happens? Or do you say I owe you later?
Some occasions it's a refund. Sometimes the refund is given to the battler to give back to the league, you know, which is another form of obviously interference, right? But it happens in multiple ways. Sometimes it's just a sneaky situation, and you know, the company or the RBE, for example, is just out on the money. You know, we're just engaging and doing straightforward, clean business, and something steps in, and then we just lose our money and we're out of the money. Which is why I say,
whoa. It's been a situation where you lost your money?
Of course.
You want my gun?
Say again?
You want my gun?
No.
I had to give you my gun because I ain't losing no bread, bro.
I'm a citizen. That life is
I am too.
I'm
a citizen too. I'm a business owner. I'm everything. But when it comes to that Fetty, Somebody got to get their brains blown.
When it comes to that money,
Yeah, man.
I own a butter knife, and I'll protect myself if somebody, you know, maybe comes to my home or my place of business and threatens me. I'll attempt to use a butter knife maybe to defend my life. But nah, there's nothing, and a lot of this is still put under the business umbrella.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? It is.
I want to ask you: has battle rap media been fair to you?
I'd say so.
Okay.
I'd say so. I think I watched all the larger blogs, and some of the smaller ones too. I'll tune into a Vodafly, a Piper Boy, a Chris Unbiased, a Three Letter Man, an Angry Fan, a Jay Black, a Champion Panel. I'll tune into those guys, and then there's others as well.
Restore Order, you know, a few of them.
Restore Order, my man Swave and IP.
Oh, my man, I gotta shout out No Mercy. That's my dude. So
No Mercy, and probably the only reason I say him is probably the same reason that I get. Like, people always want to forget that I'm a blogger, and I was a blogger before I was even.
That's why I wanted to ask you why. That's why I wanted to ask you about.
I didn't even say No Mercy, but No Mercy is similar to me. We're platform owners, and we blog as well. I blogged before there was an RBE. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to No Mercy, Dear Me Detroit. I tune into all of these guys, and I definitely have seen times where they've taken a position that wasn't in RBE's favor, but I've seen times where they've taken a position that was in our favor. Shout out to Jims. Jims is another guy. So I definitely would say that I think that the media has been fair, and you know, if I ever felt that something was damaging and just lied on RBE, it's one. If you have an opinion, I'm not this guy that tries to be an enforcer, no shit like that. You know, I've seen blogs where people have a difference of opinion than maybe RBE, and I chalk it to the game. You know what I'm saying?
Can I give you my opinion on that? I don't think they've been fair to you.
Okay, so you must be seeing some stuff that I'm missing.
Reason why I don't think they've been fair to you, because, all right, everything in the culture is reported. Right? Yeah. Everything in the culture is reported. When you make your blog, when you do your podcast, and you're charging said individuals with that, and you give evidence, that's the blog now. When it's hushed, that's not being fair. Why are you not talking about this? For example, like when I do your show later on, we're going to talk about some stuff that has nothing to do with you or anything, but I was just being fair because I'm impartial in the situation. You understand what I'm saying? As a blogger, I have to talk about everything.
You're right. And when I give my answer, it is from the perspective of what is spoken about. What you're giving an example of is speaking on or not speaking to, and that not being fair. Now, a couple bloggers still credit in that respect, like a Jay Black, because you will rarely see Jay Black doing anything that could be controversial, anything like that. And I respect that, right? But there are a lot of bloggers that do indulge in controversy because it sells, and those titles, and the moment ARP and this person or this group or this company get or have any back and forth, of course, because it's controversial, right? I get it. But at the same time, I do agree with you that there are a lot of things that are left alone. Sometimes it's to maintain a relationship. Sometimes it's just like, you know what? I ain't going close to that because one of these sides might get mad at me or something like that. So I guess I just try to take it as it comes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try to take it all in stride.
When I remember a few years ago, you physically fought Queen's Flip. What the fuck was that? What the hell was y'all like? What makes it get physical? Because this is a very contact sport in the sense of what they're saying about each other. Like
similar to how we even opened up this interview. Egos, pride, immaturity. I was more immature than he probably was too. We both grew a lot even over the years. Like, I could see that when I see some of his content. I could see that in myself when I look in the mirror. Probably ego, pride, protecting your image or whatever was something that I don't really do like I used to do. You know what I'm saying? God forbid I let people think that I'm a sucker or I'm a punk. Like you grow up like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I can't come into this industry with all these people around me, and you might think I'm soft, or you might think I'm a sucker. These days, it's like, you could think I'm a sucker from afar and I won't give two shits.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? A threat is one thing. Like, I handle threats one way. But if you just if you tweeting that I'm this or I'm that, like that doesn't create the energy in me like it used to do once upon a time. You know what I'm saying?
Reason why I'm asking you that's also a media outlet. I never saw you on there. I don't see you on a lot of media outlets. This is what I'm saying. Has the media been fair to you? Now you had Murder Mook versus Averb. Both of them, Mook is definitely on that mountain, Mount Rushmore. Averb makes a case to be on that mountain, right? You had an incredible battle with them, but Mook was very vocal that it was things going on behind the scenes that he didn't like that was happening with that battle by other companies, particularly URL, but it wasn't covered. It was hushed. I wouldn't have known that if you didn't put it out there. But he verbally said it aloud. Now, when Murder Mook talks about battle rap, that should be on every blog, because this is not Harold Miner talking. This is Murder Mook, arguably the greatest battle rapper of all time. You know what I'm saying? So why is it not covered? Why is it not, when you have an event, why isn't every media platform outside? Why are they not doing press conferences? Why are they not? So I feel like you have been getting a raw deal.
And what's crazy, some of that still folds into our earlier points of how come these people are being quiet and RBE and ARP and these guys are so vocal. Now, mind you, shout out to Mook. That clip that I put in a recent blog has been sitting on the channel since 2018. It's a public video. That and it's not even like it was uploaded and then made public. It was a part of our live pay-per-view press conference the night before the battle. Okay, so we organized these face-offs and these press conferences the night before the battle to promote what's happening tomorrow and to let these battlers get their last little, you know what I'm saying, little jabs at each other and all that type of stuff. And that's the bag that he got in. He wanted to let people know because, you know, the run of that whole thing with Summer Madness and the Rare Breeds, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes. You know, a lot of people would tell you, like, that's why Summer Madness was changed from volume and moved to that week before. And then there was also an attempt to do a Summer Madness on the other weekend after that fell out because they were trying to do it overseas and a bunch of battlers couldn't get passports in time. But it was a panic towards that. And there's the three battles that I mentioned were battles that were on that card. You know, the Geechee and the Math and the Pat Stay and the Shotgun Shook, rest in peace to Pat Stay, and the Old Red and Iron Solomon. Those are three battles that were on that card, right? And the reason why Mook went off like that in the press conference, because like he said in the press conference, you don't know what kind of business I got going on. I'm working with RBE, and RBE is developing one of the greatest cards of all time. And then somehow it starts to get sabotaged. And I'm a part of that. My legacy is a part of that. Maybe my business is a part of that. So the card was still one of the biggest things in the year, if not the biggest thing of the year. But it was being constructed to be one of the best cards of all time. And people were maliciously interfering with that, right? So he spoke out on that live stream. And that live stream automatically, you know how it is when you live stream from your YouTube channel. You know, it then turns into just the content that's there. We think was going to take our press conference down. No. Fast forward all these years later, from 2018 to 2022, I took that piece that's already on our public channel and I put it in a recent blog to re-educate the people that missed that moment or aren't aware of that moment or became battle rap fans after that moment. That's a reason why I know people hate that I'm speaking out, because they like, oh, we got away with this. We got away with that or whatever. And then I'll come back in 2022 or 23 or 24 or 25 or in court or whatever and say like, no, I'm not allowing this to be swept under the rug anymore. I did once upon a time and I shouldn't have. I see how that was used against me.
But what I'm asking you, did the battle rap media drop the ball on that? This is Murder Mook talking, bro. This is not, I don't want to disrespect him, but this is Murder Mook talking right now. Murder Mook doesn't have 40 battles. Every time he battles this event, I don't care if he battle on a corner. This is Murder Mook saying, hold on, this is what's going on. Animated, angry, ready to fight. Nobody said anything about it.
And that's another reason why I've never put down my blogger flag. Because if somebody is going to speak up for RBE, it's going to be me.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I do have my reports And I do fuck with a lot of media and a lot of bloggers, but you're right. There will be things that'll be untouched. Like, I can't expect Hip Hop Is Real or 15 Minutes of Fame to walk up to some of these people and ask them some of these questions, you know, when they're making money at their events.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I from a moral and a principle standpoint, you would assume that right is right and wrong is wrong. Right?
Not in battle rap. Not in battle rap. There's no.
But that's my point. That's the point that I'm making. You would assume right is right and wrong is wrong, right? But there's something called money that changes a lot of wrongs to a right. Something called money that changes a lot of wrongs to a right. So then you're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna just either walk back into the bushes or be quiet, especially for the sake of a dollar, because it's like, yo, I work with these people. I see them every week. You think I want to, you know, do this whole run on my channel talking about how Murder Mook just, you know, exposed this situation of all this torturous interference towards a card that he was headlining after 4 years of being inactive?
That's what you
know what I'm saying? So like, once again, I take it in stride. And it's like, I do know that there's things that I do see our bloggers and our media covered, but the things where they fall back from, I'm not putting down my blogger flag, because if somebody's going to stand up for RBE or has to stand up for RBE, it's going to be me regardless. Has
it been a time where somebody directly told you and you respected it? Yo, I'm not fucking with you because I fuck with them.
Nah. Maybe somebody, like, let's say a Surf.
What is the thing with you and Surf? Because I laugh at Surf. But reason why I laugh at Surf, because I think it strangely it helps you, to me.
And what I was about.
How do you take it?
It's like I'll see, because I was trying to answer the question honestly while I jog my memory bank. Like, that's the only person that's popping into my mind, and even that is after we didn't negotiated 20 different times. It's mad times we didn't. I could tell you stories about.
Hold up, you negotiated with Surf the battle on RBE?
Oh man, like 5-6 times.
How recent?
The last time he and I negotiated was probably right after Max Out 1, I think.
And who was supposed to be his opponent?
I think I was talking to him about battling Math.
And he was with it.
We were negotiating, and
he was entertaining. He was entertaining it.
Yeah, but I was also entertaining him. Like, he's not the trump card. Like, we both are.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, because to the general public, Surf, you're the graveyard. I'd rather battle. I'll never battle. You know what I'm saying? And I think
but once again, I'm smart enough to know what all that is. All that is, number one, he says the things that his bosses can't say, right? So he does it for them, right? And
I don't think Surf got no boss. I don't think he got no boss. I ain't gonna put that on him. I don't think he got no boss.
And if I'm being touted as primary competition, right? If that's his main source of income, you know, it's in his agenda as well to put us down, because he needs to. He has interviews saying, like, this apartment that I'm in was purchased by these people. That's his words, not mine. You know what I'm saying? So he kind of puts himself in a position as well where he's so dependent, I think, where it's in his best interest to also try to help clear the lane. You see what I'm saying?
Got you.
So I totally get it. But anytime Surf and I have seen each other, have been on DM, have been on text message, have been on the phone, have been in person, whatever, we always show each other plenty of respect. We laugh about it, you know, and we probably seen each other face to face, you know, in the midst of our going back and forth, so messing around like this, at least 5 times over the years. At least 5 times over the years. So, you know,
I want to bring up some names. Jae Millz, who I feel like started off shaky back entering the game, but progressively started getting his legs up on him, got better. What's your relationship with him right now?
We don't have a relationship anymore, unfortunately.
Because I seen some blogs and some stuff. I was like, what just happened? Why Millz do that? What's that all about?
So I'll give you the whole rundown on that. And shout out to Millz. You know, even though we no longer have a business relationship, I don't hold any animosity towards him. I told him several times, privately as well as publicly, when he came back to battle rap, it was one of the biggest things that was happening. because it was like, yo, this is Jae Millz coming back for his first battle versus Shine. And he probably could have done that at any platform that was able to negotiate the right way with him. But it happened on RBE, and I will forever salute him for that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's from a humble standpoint. But our recent, I guess, difference of opinion was I was developing a card, and I didn't match him up on the card. I didn't book him on the card. But two people that I put on the card was people that he felt wasn't deserving to be on the card because their previous performances weren't, you know, A+.
That's not his call.
It's not.
Absolutely not his call.
It's not his call, but that's the truth of the matter. And we kind of got into it a little bit on text. You know, it's like, yo, is this person on the card? Is that person on the card? These two guys they pulled out their phones or whatever, and they disrespect the platform. You put them on the card, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I was just like, you know, we argue a little bit, and then the card comes out. And actually, we had this argument probably weeks before I dropped the card. You know, I kind of let him know behind the scenes, respectfully, how I move. Like, there's a lot of people that I look out for, and I don't even think that he realizes that he was one of them. Like Doggie, what did you just say? You said he continued to get his legs up.
He got better.
But somebody has to give you enough respect to say, we're going to keep working with Jae Millz so that the fans could give him an opportunity instead of say, yo, you don't make me money no more, so get out of here.
Reason why I'm saying that, because if we had to judge him off the Shine battle, he should have never battled again.
Yeah, and even after that, it's like, and these are not shots. Like, even after that, there was battles where you don't see everybody beating down RBE's door, saying, yo, book this, book this, book this. But he and I still work together to create other matchups. You know what I'm saying? And he worked with us business-wise as well, maybe in times where he wasn't as comfortable. So I want to give him his salutes and his shout-out. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to make this all one-sided. But you are right when it's not your call of who's on the card and who's not. And, you know, a couple weeks after that, we dropped the card. And I think that was like another deal breaker for him, like seeing it, like the conversation that we had a couple weeks ago, I'm seeing it now. He started to tweet about it, that he was, you know, not happy with us. We was this, we was that, and whatever. And I didn't even respond. You didn't see me. I didn't do no blog for him. I didn't do no interview.
We was waiting. Yo, I ain't going front. I'm like, oh, because I know you. I'm like, ooh, he going to undertake.
Because
why did you bow out in that one? Because normally you go.
Because to me, that's not even a bow out, right? Like some situations to me are so clear where RBE is big enough and our reputation is strong enough where it'll happen for us. We don't have to do it. You know, so like I'm not a secretive person. I don't be stunting in front for nobody. I would go back to his tweets like every other day that he was saying about us, and I would read the replies. You know how people be acting oblivious? I don't do that. I don't act oblivious like, oh, I know, I heard. Like, nah, I went myself and said,
yeah, I saw,
what are these people really saying? Is anybody really, you know, agreeing with this or believing this? And everybody was just all these negative responses under his tweets, like, yo, ARP did this, ARP was that. And so I was just like, I don't even have to. Like, I'm gonna just leave it alone. Like, to me, that's not a bow out. That's just me being like to a degree respectful, but at the same time, it's like, if everybody is already like, yo, that's bugged out, right? And then I gotta come with some edited blog or some interview or something like that, then it looks like it's overkill. Like, yo, AR, you doing too much.
I would have did it.
You know what I'm saying?
I would have did it though, because I would have did it. I would have did it. You know why, bro? Because one thing about this culture that I don't like, and it's not Millz per se, but he fits in the situation. Bro, man, we sometimes, I ain't gonna lie to you, it be motherfuckers don't got nothing going on. And we put you in these lights, and the first thing you do is I don't like ungrateful people. I just don't like that. It just really bothers me.
You sound exactly
don't like ungrateful shit. I don't like ungrateful shit.
You sound exactly like my brother.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a lot of artists, they will never look at it for the opportunities that they're given. You know, their first thought is always what I am or who I am or what I'm
Let me give you something. Let me tell you why. This is the only thing I'm grateful. You get anywhere from $5 to $10 to $20 to $30,000 for 9 minutes of rap, not even in succession.
Yeah.
Not
And even if it's not,
now
even
look.
if it's not, and even if it's not $5,000.
Yeah, but let me tell you, Jadakiss might get 20 for an hour set. $20,000 for an hour set. An hour sweating, perspiring, ad-lib losing his voice. You get this amount of money for 9 minutes of shit you just have to remember.
And I'll take it a step further. Nobody know. I mean, we're 9+ years in. Nobody knows all the losses that we had to take over the years.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you got paid $500.
Yeah, it's still shit. Still 9
you know
minutes.
That people that got paid $500 on cards that I lost money on.
Mm-hmm.
So you were still in the green.
Yeah. Regardless, you don't take no loss.
Yeah, I would trade shoes with you in a heartbeat financially, as far as the turnout of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Some of them get, flight, hotel, so you
groupie love. Get some groupie love.
Whatever
Come on, man. Yeah.
All the energy, you know what I'm saying? You get your footage put out, you know what I'm saying? You get to maintain a network, maintain a working relationship for business going forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you go crash the ceiling with a performance, even if I paid you $500, I'm not going to be able to book you for $500 after that if you go crash the ceiling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know what I paid A-Ward the very first time he performed on RBE. I can't book him for that same price right now.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
and the battler does that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's really, especially when you keep your options open.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I get on the phone with A-Ward and I'm like, yo, man, can we do this number? He's like, yo, I'm about to go get this type of bag over there. If you don't meet that or whatever, and then I'm put in a spot where I can say yes or no. But it just is part of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like paying your dues. Sometimes people don't think that they lose track of what's current versus their history. For another example, to drive that point home, right? Across the entire battle rap timeline of history, we are one of the biggest and best platforms ever.
Mm-hmm.
Red Breed Entertainment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But still, as a platform and as a league, we will still only be respected based on what we've done over the last previous months.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for a battler. So imagine in my shoes, me having to argue with somebody's legacy opposed to how much money they're going to generate today. That happens a lot. Like I can be in a financial argument or debate, and there's never supposed to be no hard feelings in negotiations because we both have the opportunity to say yes or no.
Facts.
So there's not supposed to be any hard feelings in negotiations. But imagine if you're telling me, and I'm just saying this in general. Imagine if you're telling me, yo, you know what I did for this culture? You know how much I was part of the beginning or this or that, and boom, 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 boom. That's cool. But if I pay you $10,000, I'm losing 12, and you walking away with 10, even though you might have wanted 20, and you think that you're taking a short because you're only getting the 10, but I might have lost on this event.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So, and people don't know these type of things. I think that they believe that everybody's, well, there are a bunch of battlers that's just getting used and slaved out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think they think that because you're a league owner, every fucking event, you're walking away with $1 million or some shit like that. If it was like that, I'd do an event every month. I'd do an event every week.
Yeah. Let me give you another. Let me give you another name. Serious Jones. What's your relationship with him?
Serious Jones and I don't really have a relationship either. We don't really have a relationship either. I think the reasons why we're very public. In summary, it was really just how his battle was being managed on both sides. That was coming up on Max Out Part 1 and versus Big K. There was some things that was coming up, and we were going back and forth about it for a couple of days. Didn't like the way some of the stuff was transpiring behind the scenes, some of the things that was being seen and said. And then after that, decisions were communicated clearly, and then decisions were made. And I think that there's another perspective of I'm not happy or agree with those decisions. And everybody's entitled to how they feel, right? But God forbid, I'm telling you that, Doggie, your battery is about to die. but still go ahead and line up this Jay-Z interview.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The card is full, my G. Like the card is full. You only got an hour worth of footage time, but you got to do a 2-hour interview.
Yeah. So differences of opinion there, and then once things bleed out into the public, I think it gets worse. I think it gets worse, and I do want to say to the RBE side of defense that there are a lot of situations that we keep private. You know, like when you see these blogs from ARP, and I even hate that reputation, but when you see that, it's always coming from a defense or response standpoint. And I think those public blogs was probably like the last division of how these two parties feel towards each other. But I got to remind people, you know, behind the scenes, everything that was happening in private. All these phone calls was private, right? And then you know, things were communicated as far as, all right, this is what's about to happen. It wasn't like anybody was blindsided. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh shit, that's not like, no, everything was communicated straight up, man to man, multiple times. And then I think as things continue to move forward, I think there was some still people being upset about that. So then interviews started happening. Tweets started happening. Right? There was an interview on 15 Minutes of Fame, and I think there was another one on Hip Hop Is Real. And then I even did a blog, a trailer, leading up to the event, like 3 days before the event, in my opinion, being respectful. I was saying, look, y'all, you know we got to replace this battle for y'all, but there was something that was happening behind the scenes with one of the artists. Hopefully the matchup can still happen. I was leaving the door open and being respectful. I don't even think I said the artist that had the issue in the blog, in the trailer. It's still on my channel right now. You go to the channel right now. But those interviews came, you know, from the other side, and that put this black cloud over RBE, like, yo, RBE, you did something wrong, you did something wrong. And I kept saying in these interviews, as people were asking me, even at my press conference that Friday night before the event, you know, I had Hip Hop Is Real, and all these people asking me, like, yo, this other party is saying that you did this and you did that. And I kept saying, like, you know what? I'm trying to stay focused on this event. I tried to do the politically correct, you know, route. I guess that didn't work. But there's this cloud now over how we may have managed a matchup. So when I get an opportunity, I'm going to answer it. And once the event was over and all the business was tied up or whatever, and I had an opportunity to answer it, I put out a lot of RBE's truth and things to back up that truth. And I don't think that people like that, but sometimes it's just like, why do you get to slap us around and we don't get to slap back? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's another name that's very, very a big factor in battle rap, and that I thought it was dope marketing when I see you blogging and Norbs walks past. We thought, oh shit, Norbs is about to join RBE. Was that something y'all concocted to do, or just because it was dope? I was like, not that he would be joining, but you're with Norbs. What the hell's going on?
Here's what's so crazy about that video. Norbs' channel, it's got the content up there, but maybe it doesn't have that many views, right? Or as many views as when we dropped our video on our channel. So basically, that whole situation was revolving around Norbs and I not walking around as battle rap enemies anymore, right? Because everybody knows who Norbs used to be a co-owner or a partner with them.
Very vocal about in defense of them all the time and attacking people and doing all that. He still got bridges burnt now, but you don't even have a place no more.
Maybe a Dame Dash type of effect.
Facts,
right?
Actual facts. Yep.
Okay, so when you have all that stuff going on, obviously that's going to put RBE at odds with all of those owners and all of those partners, right? So when that person was when Norbs was no longer working with those people, right? It was more so like, we never had anything personal. It was just the type of behavior from that company as a whole, right? So we never had anything personal. So now there's no reason for us to walk around feeling like this towards each other. You know what I'm saying? And let's have this conversation as men. And if we have that type of energy, let's bury the hatchet. You know what I'm saying? And we did that. And then he asked me, he said, yo, why don't you come meet me at this location? I want to get you on an interview. And the interview was about my Mount Rushmore. I think he was doing a whole blog series asking people who was their Mount Rushmore. And I was one of the people that he wanted included in that series. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to come meet you. You know what I'm saying? He had his own camera, his own tripod and everything like that. You know, I really linked up with him for our first time to see each other face to face after we buried the hatchet, and to do his Mount Rushmore interview that he asked me to do. While we were there on his camera, was similar to how me and you was just like, yo, I'm gonna come on and, you know, Doggie Diamond's show. And I'm just like, want to know what? While we there, let's jump on my shit for RBE too. It was the same thing. So while we was there, after we finished up the Mount Rushmore interview that's on his channel, right? I said, yo, you want to know what'd be crazy? If I drop you on our channel as well. And on the spot, we thought of that idea.
Yeah, dope.
Because of the behavior that has always come
previous.
From that
Yep. So
what we did was we put the venue address on the screen, and people miss this. They miss it's everybody knows this. It's out there. We put the venue address on the screen, and every time Norb's work walks by, the venue address gets wiped off the screen. And then we put in the title, blocking the venue.
Yeah.
You get it?
All
right. So the whole blocking thing of where he's from, where the word blocking comes from, we spoke about that. And then the venue address for our upcoming event getting wiped off every time he walks by is the message. But it's a play. It's almost like a sarcastic thing, because if we hated him that much, he wouldn't be standing next to me.
Got you.
You see what I'm saying? So that's 1000% what that video was, and why we got together, and why we did the Mount Rushmore thing that he was asking me to do and everything like that. And then we did that. And then obviously when you put a video like that out there, even though it was 10 seconds, he didn't say a word. I was acting like he wasn't there. He just walked by taking the venue address off the screen. When you do that, everybody turns around and says, oh, they're about to work together. Right? That's what everybody went.
I loved it. I thought it was, I was like, that was,
and the funny thing is,
genius marketing.
And the funny thing is, that wasn't even the insinuation. Like I said, the title of the video was blocking the venue, and everybody knows the company he used to work with. And everybody knows what has been happening to RBE over the years. So that was us. Like you said, yo, ARP, why ain't sue all these years? And it's just like, you know what? Try to turn a negative into a positive. That was like another example of that.
Got you.
Me and Norbs buried the hatchet. He asked me to do a Mount Rushmore interview with him. And while we're here, let me make light of shit that's the type of stuff that happens to us over the years. And we'll play that into a funny video. But, you know, the metaphor of that is missed a little bit. And I think that people just focus on, yo, ARP and Norbs are in the same place. Purposefully, obviously, because they're on camera together, right? So that must mean that, oh, they're about to do this work together. Norbs and I have never worked together a day in our life.
Yeah,
never.
I love this. So before we go, why haven't you done these events? You got, obviously, URL has caffeine, but you have Twitch available. Why haven't you done those type of app events? Has nobody, like, why haven't you done that?
I think the opportunity for us to do it has never been there the right way. And I can say it by name just so people don't think I'm bullshitting or whatever. Like, we've been approached by companies, like, shout out to U42. Like, we took a meeting at U42. That was like one of the more recent ones. And I fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? But the timing of that type of situation isn't fully lined up for RBE. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just not against right now for RBE moving away from YouTube. I know the ad revenue took a big hit years ago. We know that YouTube, you know, from a monetization standpoint, isn't the best in the world like it used to be. Like it used to be, but at the same time, it's still the second biggest website in the world behind Google. It's number 2. there's probably a billion websites in the world.
That's owned by Google, though. Let's not forget, it's still Google, but just a different name. It's
So
still
you
Google.
might damn near say number one.
Yeah,
like, you know
it is number. Yeah.
But you pull it up, it's like Google, YouTube, and then after that might be like Facebook or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So the viewership that is still there for us, we're still utilizing. Streaming is streaming, and that's not just in battle rap. Like, the whole world is going to streaming now. Like, my podcast now is going through a streaming platform. I don't go directly out from YouTube first. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely get it. So if the business lines up the right way for us, then we'll definitely sit down and we'll. I don't want to be the guy that's on camera saying like, "Ah, that's whack" or this or whatever. I think all those ventures are dope. If you can come up with your own streaming solution, if you can come up with your own app, I won't be the guy that's ever going to be hating. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a hater. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie to myself because people are at odds or in competition. I'm not going to lie publicly. I'm not going to lie to my fans. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it's dope if you could come up with that type of stuff. Me saying this right now is about to get cut and used in a trail.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
I think the app is dope. That's about to be the next trailer.
Speaking of which, you've been using the trailer, and you wasn't mad at it, your voice being used in the trailer. Why? I would have been mad as a motherfucker.
I mean, I've been in situations. I think people think that because I have a solid business background and I've carried myself pretty well business-wise, I've showed a level of maturity just as a man and in my character over the years, that maybe that's misconstrued, that I don't have a sense of humor or personality or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I think that could be misconstrued because of my presentation of when I'm always on camera talking about battles or business or events or whatever. Man, listen, I love to have a good time just like the next person. Same thing happened with that when Twerk and fucking Miss Hustle did a April Fool's, putting out a fake flyer that they was booked to battle on RBE. That flyer went out, it started going all battle rap viral. Twerk DMs me like, yo, don't mess it up, man. It's just an April Fool's. I joined in on the joke. I was like, oh, no, it's all good. And I joined in on the joke. You know what I'm saying? Now I know that battle's not happening, and especially the relationship with other companies and whatnot. Some people may not ever battle on RBE. That doesn't mean me and you can't be cordial or I can't have a sense of humor. No different than that trailer. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I watched it, I was just like, I laughed like anybody else because I know where that piece came from. It got chopped and taken out of my recent podcast, which shows me that you guys are very in tune with my podcast and these new episodes that's rolling out. But if I had to stop laughing for a second and be real about it, I say like, that's cool. Y'all are joking. I'm over here feeding the public all these facts that I have evidence behind, and that is there for all these companies and these people and these fans and the culture to see, and these lawyers and what. So y'all could play, but you know what I'm saying?
Same thing that make you laugh, make you cry, right?
I laugh too, but I'm over here releasing a lot of stuff that is very, very, I think, important to the battle rap culture and very true. Like Calico said, what's that bar? He said, but I ain't lied yet. I ain't lied yet. You know what I'm saying? So, and then on top of that, I thought it was, when I think a step further, I thought it was odd that, given that we're in litigation right now, that you open up that lane as well. Now, of course, there's freedom of speech. You know, so I could be on my channel talking about certain things. Like, of course, I have legal advisors behind me saying certain things that I know I could say. You know what I mean? But when you do that, even within my series, there's still no audio or no footage of those people. And you kind of open up the lane for now me to do that if I wanted to do that now, which I thought was another miscalculation. Like, I already have enough that I can put out there to people. But now you open up the lane for me to do that because you took that first step of actually selling tickets with my voice from a clip that comes from my channel. I didn't go flag it.
I'm about to say, because you could flag it. It can get flagged. It could get. I always tell people that, yo, homie, I'm a company. You can't just use my voice for your channel or anything. I could do. You can't do it. Yeah.
If anything, I was just like, my first reaction, like I said, I laughed, and then my thoughts start to kick in. I'm like, I'm surprised you guys opened that lane up for me to now do it if I chose to use audio evidence in my blogs and whatnot. Like I said, and number three, it's cute that you have a way of responding in a way that you can use as marketing. But over here, I'm feeding the people all these facts. You know what I'm saying? And my shit ain't a trailer joke. My shit is real hard facts. So, you know, I know that people are very, very uncomfortable with the things that I've been reminding the culture about. It's not even like exposing, because this stuff is all there and it's all known. You know what I'm saying? But it's like me putting into video format and bringing up like old videos, like the Mook thing from 2018, and people, like you said, you never seen that before.
Yeah, I never saw
it. I know people are very, very bothered by that, but at the same time, it's like, how long are you going to be able to bully somebody and then be mad if they decide to ever slap back? Like, I don't get that part. So
what do you have next going on before we go?
Yeah, so the end of October, we got Blood, Sweat, and Tears 7. Blood, Sweat, and Tears is a series that kind of was a part of giving us our identity. We kind of came out the gate promoting that. We didn't care about the tears. We thought a good matchup was a good matchup. We don't give a fuck if, you know, the up-and-comer has been battling on the scene or in the public for 2 months, another person got a 5-year legacy. We didn't care about that. And we started to like break the tears in that with our series called Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Tears spelled Tiers. You know, trying to be like creative with it. And that series we kind of put down ever since like 2017 or something like that. It's been put down for a while, but we have this new movement within RBE called the Bricks. You know, shout out to Lawrence and Wayne. You know, we started contracting artists and we brought in like 30 signed battlers, you know what I'm saying, through this RBE process, and we've committed to them and they've committed back to us now at a contractual business level as well. So they're RBE signed artists, and they created this buzz for themselves. You know what I'm saying? That kind of motivated me and the team to bring back Blood, Sweat, and Tears, to give some of these lesser known artists those opportunities to stand in front of the bigger names. So we got that coming in October.
Location? You got a location?
Yeah, it's gonna be in Atlanta. Both these I'm telling you about is gonna be Atlanta.
Okay.
And then in November, we have a completed card as well. I don't want to say exactly what it's going to be. Actually, I hinted towards it early. I said it's either going to be closure or the Get Back. I dropped that while making a point. But we got that in November. So and also in the midst of releasing Brick by Brick Volume 4 card, which is all up and coming guys that went through the brick process. We're releasing that on the channel as we speak. So we're releasing battles. We got Blood, Sweat, and Tears 7 happening in October. And we got either the Get Back Part 2 or Closure Part 2. I'm going to choose the title shortly. And that's going to be rolled out for November. So we're working. We active. I see people saying, yo, he's talking. But ironically, with no bullshit, this is literally the most events that we've ever done in a year. And it's the most battles that we've ever recorded and released within a year. So even though, yes, I am talking, which I'm pretty sure people hate, you cannot deter me from manipulation, because believe me, we know that the work that we're still putting together as well. We haven't slowed down at all. You know what I'm saying? Not everything is going to be max out, but we're working, we're busting our ass while we're still doing what we need to do in the other realms as well.
Give them your social media and your channel, your social media.
Yeah. Make sure y'all follow me, man. Follow your boy, ITSARP, at It's ARP. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Just pull up Rare Breed Entertainment in the YouTube search, or go to youtube.com/RBEvids. Subscribe to us. You're going to see constant releases, at least maybe 5 episodes of pieces per week. So I'm going to get to a point where I'm doing daily releases for my podcast, Sorry It's True podcast. That's me addressing and talking about all topics across all entertainment and all genres of entertainment that we typically follow. That's the hip hop world, movies, battle rap, social events, social issues, just me giving y'all my opinions on what's going on in the world. So once again, you got my podcast release in there. You got battles currently releasing there. You got announcements releasing there, trailers releasing there. So stay in tune with the RBE movement. We're going to keep working hard for y'all. I'm going to keep giving y'all blogs and keep giving y'all battles. And yeah, we moving, man. Keep a lookout. Like I said, October, Blood, Sweat, and Tears in Atlanta. In November, event that's going to be in Atlanta as well. Stay in tune, man. We got y'all.
All right, so with that, we out. I'm about to get on his channel real quick, so let me sign him out. Well, no, I'm not going to sign you out. Well, you can set up and then send me the invite via email. You want to do that?
Got you. I'm going to send you that right now.
Yep, so, yo, I'm going to sign him out real quick. Yo, we'll be back.
I got Doggie.
Yep.